Hello, everybody, and welcome to StarNet Link. In today's topic discussion, we're going to talk about energy attacks. So I do not know the actual name of the energy weapons that attack people, but I do know the different types of energy attacks that attack people. I do know that people who are targeted might know exactly what I'm talking about. If I leave something out of the list, please let me know or leave a comment below on this video. I do know that energy attacks on the physical person or your body is not necessarily all the energy attacks that happen to you. There are prosperity attacks where if something good happens, something bad counteracts it. I do know that energy attacks can also affect neighbors or people around you and make them irritated towards you, etc. And then the other type of energy attacks really affect your body. And I do know that there are also attacks with black magic, but I do not know a whole lot about black magic, so I'm going to leave them out of this video. But if people who know about black magic attacks, please leave information below to educate people or to help people below in the comment section below. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the different types of energy attacks. So I do know about energy attacks that there are certain individuals that are targeted, but for people who do not know or anything about energy attacks or know that they are being energy attacks, this video will give a brief rundown about different types. I do know the reason why energy attacks happen on people is number one, to stop you from progressing in your spiritual work or attack you from stopping you from remembering your memories. I do know that also energy attacks can, especially for people who are in government programs or the SSP, that they will do energy attacks to basically try to trigger you into doing some of your altars or do some of your programming that you may not be aware of. Also, energy attacks is to prevent your memories from coming forward. I do know that some energy attacks is deliberately done to stop people from pursuing certain things about themselves, including remembering, bettering themselves, or speaking their truth, or stop them from speaking their truth publicly, or stop to educate people about this stuff. So that's some of the reasons why energy attacks occur. But if I leave anything out of this video, please leave a comment below. Or if you know any resources to help people, leave them in the comment below. So I organize all the energy attacks in 3 categories: the head and neck, the torso and arms, and anything under the waist. So we're going to start with energy attacks with the head and neck. With energy attacks, there's a thing called voice to skull, or also known as V2K. It can make you seem like you are hearing voices or talking to voices in your head. A lot of times they make you think that you're talking to a celebrity or God or someone else that you're familiar with, but it's not actually them. It's just VQK messing with your head. There is also the messing around with your psyche or / dream state, where you will be in a dream and some of your dreams might be skewed or altered. I do know that there are dreams where they will make you feel like you're in like a movie set, but you're not really, but when you talk about your experiences, they might seem like that way. Another thing that they mess with your psyche is that they will affect other people around you to order to target you, or you feel like you're constantly being targeted, but that's not but you're not technically being physically targeted all the time. It just might be energy attacks. They do also do a high pitch frequency pitch that kind of sounds like a humming in your head or repeated music in your head. Those are some of the things that they do. You will also have headaches that is contributed to the voice to skull. There is obstructive respiratory symptoms that is also caused where you will have issues with breathing through your nose or through your throat. You'll have throat problems, you'll have a sore throat. And then there is energy draining, like you're physically being drained all the time, and then they mess around with your vision. Like, for an example, your eyes might start to get blurry, or they will just mess with your vision where you might see something but you don't. So always be cautious to that. So we're going to move on to torsos and arms. So one of the things that they do, or the number one thing that I heard that they do with energy attacks with the chest, is that they also do energy attacks like a heart attack, where they make you feel like you're having a heart attack, but that's not really a heart attack. It's just messing around with your energy frequencies of your heart. There is also adrenaline rush that also feels like you're having a panic attack. They attack different specific organs in your body. You might also get stomach pain, joint pain. Another thing that I know is that they mess around with your body temperature, where you will feel hot 1 second and cold the next, which is called microwaving people. And then there is lower respiratory problems, like you're having trouble breathing in your lungs. Another thing is that you might feel like you're getting pricked all the time with needles. That's another type of energy attack. And then we're going to do a waist down. So the thing that I have found with energy attacks is that you'll get a burning feeling in your feet. You'll get joint pain, especially in the knees. You might get needle pricks in your legs, or you just might just have leg issues a lot. The other thing that I have found, I don't necessarily think this happens a whole lot in adults, but I do know that this might happen in teenagers, where they will mess around with a teenager's libido, and by either cranking it up really high or really low. And when they crank it down really low, it gives them the impression like they're not worthy, they're not they don't belong. It gives them that negative sort of thinking in their heads. And then with high, very, very high libido, they make them very, very aggressive, very, very angry all the time. They also mess with your libido, where the point where you cannot physically do anything until you satisfy yourself. I do know that when they mess around with that type of energy frequency, they usually do it to either trigger you to make you very, very angry. It's also a way to like control or manipulate your emotions. So that's another thing. The one thing that I have found out and started doing in my research about energy attacks is that when they start doing energy attacks and you're trying to figure out how they find you, kind of points to my earlier video about auras. So each person has their own unique energy signature or aura. And when your aura field is not healthy, it can allow these energy attacks to attack you. And this is how I think this is how they find you, is through your energy aura or your energy signature through your auras. And one way that I have found to order to stop it or to slow down the effects is that depending on how much you want to spend, there's a lot of people that create copper headbands around their heads. There is also a way where they use dowsing rods to find specific rocks. And these rocks have very specific energy properties, like natural energy properties that you can find in your backyard. And then once you find these rocks, you can build a very small pyramid, and a pyramid with a square bottom. And by doing this, the energy attacks will be focused on that pyramid instead of you. That's another thing that I found. I also found out that wind chimes are really good because they get rid of negative energy in your house. Small things like star catchers are also a way to help purify your home. There's a lot of low budget things to order to protect yourself. But those are some of the ways that I think that are really, really low cost and low budget that might help people. There are also more expensive stuff where people build Faraday cages in their houses. There is also a small DIY project that you can do called creating organite. And what organite is a handmade crystal that you can make out of peroxy or out of other materials that you want to use. Just make sure that you have copper. Let me see if I can find an example. So this is an example of organite where you can just create any type of crystal or thing that you can keep in your pocket. There's also when they create headbands or copper headbands, you add crystal to it to order to bounce and reflect energy attacks. I also know that when you create a copper headband with crystals, it can also be used as a telepathic inhibitor. Even though that is really, really low tech, but I think that even though that these are low tech, it might not necessarily help people due to the fact that each specific attack is unique to each person. But there are at least some ways to order to stop it or slow down the effect. But thank you so much for listening to my video. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact me in my business email. If anybody who is a target individual or knows that they're starting to be attacked, I hope this video helps you. If anybody knows any type of resources to help people, please leave them below for other people to use and utilize. But thank you so much for listening. I really hope this helps people, and tune in to my next video. Thank you so much.